Hello again. I'm Psychic Medium Frank Schodel, and welcome to video 3 of our free 3-part series, Are You Being Haunted? In today's episode, we're going to look at evil spirits. What are they? Where do they come from? And what if they just won't leave? And hopefully change some of our fears into understanding. In the last episode, we looked at 5 different types of entities. Those who are earthbound because they don't know they're dead, earthbound because they have unfinished business. They may be stuck here because they feel a sense of responsibility. They may be those who are not quite dead yet, but can't talk for themselves, speak for themselves for whatever reasons. And we also spoke about those who have fully passed, our guides and other entities who are free to come and go as they please. Okay? We also looked at what is the purpose for their encounter with us, the living. They may be here to deliver a message. They may be fulfilling an obligation or a promise. They may be here looking for closure to help them transition because, again, if they didn't know they were dead or for whatever reason they're trapped here, they need to be assisted and helped in moving over. Or they may be here to help those who've were left behind, the living, to get closure and comfort before they can move on. Okay, but in the meantime, we left with the question last time: what if these are evil spirits that are here? What if they just won't leave? How do we deal with that? Well, the first thing we have to do in dealing with evil spirits is define what is evil. What constitutes evil spirit? Okay, evil and good are names or classifications that are created by us, by our societies. If something benefits the tribe, the community, the nation, then it is deemed as good. If something doesn't benefit the society, if it brings injury or disease or pestilence or whatever, we classify that as evil. Good helps us, evil hurts us. Okay, so very, very simple. Okay. However, when it comes to entities, when it comes to people and beings and living things, it's not such an easy distinction of what's good and what's evil. A 4-year-old child, mom has the kid at the grocery store, and it's late afternoon. He hasn't had a nap. He's hungry. He's cranky. He looks over on the counter and sees a candy bar. Ooh, well, he's old enough to have experienced sugar. He knows what that feels like. His body understands sugar. And so he turns and he says, "Mommy, can I have a candy bar?" Mommy says, "No, it's going to ruin your dinner, not now." "But Mommy, I want a candy bar." "No, you can't have a candy bar." Okay, so what does the child do? Well, here again, this is a child who does not have the knowledge and the skills to be able to look up at mother and say, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry, mother. It's late and I'm overtired and a little bit hungry, and I felt that maybe a little bit of carbohydrate would help to satisfy me until dinner time." No, the child drops to the floor, face down, screaming, kicking, legs going all over the place, hands going all over the place, screaming as loud as he can. Okay, is this an evil child? At that particular moment in time, mom might think so. However, it's just a child. Child does not have the tools to react in an adult manner. Okay, he hasn't gotten there yet. Same thing with entities, with spirits. Okay, an entity that did not develop the tools in life to handle stressful situations may not have the tools in death to deal with them as well. So here they are. They're confused. They're trapped. They're angry. They're committed to something, and they are lashing out. They're throwing things. They're breaking things. They're poking people. They're scratching people. They're doing all these kinds of things to get your attention because they don't know how to say, "Oh, can you please help me transition?" This is where we need to change who we are and how we deal with them. We need to develop the understanding of how are we going to help them. Okay? But what if they just won't go away? I'm not ready to help them, and they just won't leave. I'm reminded of the story from the New Testament of the Christian Bible, where Jesus is off in the desert and he's battling with his conflicts, with his issues. And he projects his images, his conflicts, and he sees this entity. And what does he say? "Get thee behind me, Satan." Take those temptations, take those things that just don't match up with my goals, and leave. Okay? Well, we need to look at this statement as a beautiful statement. Get thee behind me, Satan. Okay? Tell your demons to get behind you. First thing we need to look at and to consider is the word demon. It comes from the Greek. Back when the Bible was written 2,000 years ago, a lot of it was written in Aramaic, in Greek, in the languages of the time. Okay? And the word demon in the Greek does not mean an external entity that's crawled up from the bowels of the earth. Demons are internal. There are conflicts. They are our unresolved issues within ourselves that we have to deal with. We create our demons, we deal with our demons. So Jesus says, "Get thee behind me." I don't want to deal with my demons. Okay? You don't agree with my philosophy, with my goals, with my purpose for being here? Leave. And he puts a name to these demons. He calls them Satan, or the Satan. Okay? From the Hebrew and Arabic word Satan, which means adversary. So this demon, the Satan, is our internal adversary, our conflicts that he put behind himself to move forward, to go on with his purpose, with his intended goal. Okay? Again, how do we deal with them when it's not internal, though? What do we do if this being, we know it's not our own creation, there's something else there that's throwing things and making all this ruckus? Okay? It is external. Well, the same approach, okay, is involved. We can go in with the intention of exorcising the demon. We can go in guns blazing and holding up religious artifacts and throwing holy water all over the place and hollering how we are going to cast this demon out and send it back to the bowels of hell. Or we can go in with the intention, with the goal of understanding. How can I help you? You're trapped, you're hurt, you're angry, you're in pain. What can I do to help you? Understanding or exorcism? It's all up to you, okay? Remember, if you're looking for a fight, you're going to find one, okay? And in fact, wars against evil forces, the majority of wars since the dawn of time have been religious-based. Our religion versus your religion. We're the good guys, you're the evil ones. Okay. Really? Really? Who is the good, who is the evil here? Okay. World War II definitely had some terrible things that happened. The people were caught up in so many things that we just don't accept. We don't. Hopefully, it never happens again. Okay. However, we need to keep in mind that even on the other side, even our enemies, the Germans in this case, their motto, the Third Reich, the motto of the Third Reich, Gott mit uns, God is on our side. They truly believed that they were the good guys and we were the Satan, we were the enemy that were attacking them. Okay? So, again, it comes down to understanding. Learning to understand, learning to work through these kinds of issues. Okay? When wars are typically fought, again, it's like children acting out due to ignorance and immaturity. The only way I know to deal with this adversity is to fight it. Okay? And that ignorance turns into fear. And that fear turns into anger. And that anger turns into hatred. And that hatred turns into acting out. And here again, boom, we're at war. So, can we learn to understand? Can we learn to work through the problems? At what point do we break the cycle of anger against anger? Fight fire with fire. No, you fight fire with water. You douse the flame. You smother the flame. You try to put out the flame. Okay? Again, it comes down to confrontation or compassion. The energy we put out is going to come right back at us, and usually, in most cases, magnified and amplified. So, when they're trapped here, what is their intention? Why are they still trapped here? Why won't they leave? Okay? It's important to realize that in Source, on the other side, in heaven, the universe, whatever you want to call it, okay, there is no such thing as good or evil. There's only universal truth, knowledge, and understanding. Okay? So why do they act out inappropriately here? Again, it depends on why they're trapped, why they're here. We've spoken about this, the various reasons for them being here. They need help. Those who are trapped need our help. We need to do what we can to assist them to fulfill that promise, that obligation, or if it can't be fulfilled, to understand that that time has passed and move on. Okay, the Buddhists have a great belief that says we are not punished in hell for our sins. Rather, we're punished in life by our sins, in the way we have to deal with adversities. And how will we respond? We may not be able to pick and choose what happens out there to us, but we absolutely can pick and choose how we react to the situations. Okay? So again, what is your intention? What we perceive is what we receive. Okay? When you wake up in the morning, it's a great example. Get up in the morning, you're getting ready for work, you come down to the kitchen, and you find out that the timer on your brand new coffee pot didn't work right, and your coffee's either burned or it hasn't even started, and it's time for work, and you got to leave, and you just don't have time for this. So, okay, what are you going to do? Okay, I'll stop on my way and pick up coffee en route. And you get there, and you get in the line for the drive-through for your coffee, and it's half a mile long. And so, oh my gosh, now I know I'm going to be late. Okay, finally get my coffee, and I get out to the highway, to the interstate, and it's backed up because I'm already running a little late. I try to get out early to get there before the traffic builds up. Missed it this time. Now I'm in the traffic jam. Oh, hell, I'm going to be awfully late for work. I know this is going to be a problem. I'll never get to the job I detest. I'll never get to deal with that boss who I really don't like. Man, work. Oh my gosh. Or, okay, you come down to the kitchen. You see the coffee didn't get made, or it got burned or whatever. And you say, well, okay, Starbucks, yay, okay, I'll hit it on the way. And you get there, and of course, there's the line, and you get in the line, and now you're running behind on getting into the interstate, and you get to the interstate, and it's backed up for miles, and you know you're going to be late for work. So, okay, well, nothing I can do about that at this point. So, hey, I'm going to pop in that CD I've been wanting to listen to, or I'm going to put on that radio station or that program that I've been meaning to listen to. I'll make use of the time. I'll get to work when I get to work. Deal with it when I get there. Then you get to work, and the boss comes out, and here again, you can, if you're all stressed out and looking for a confrontation with the boss, you may have one. What happens if you get to work and the boss is in a whole different place and just says, hey, life happens that way sometimes. Just try not to make it a habit. Go ahead, get to your work. I may have to dock you a little bit for your pay for being late, but just don't make it a habit. Okay? In either situation, either scenario, you're going to end up at work. In either scenario, you're going to have to deal with your boss's reaction. In either scenario, the outcome might or might not be the same. It could go a lot of different ways from what we envision or what we think is going to happen. What is totally controllable, though, as this transpires, are you going to be all stressed out? Or are you going to say, hey, this is a life lesson I can learn from and move on? On my way home, I'm going to pick up some instant coffee so that this won't happen again. I've got backup, and move on. Remember, you can handle it if you choose and how you choose. And very often, your demeanor and your physical attitude going into a situation can have a dramatic impact on the outcome of that situation. So when you say, it's okay, I can handle it, I'll do better the next time, that energy that you're projecting there may be the catalyst to change the whole scenario. Okay, so now it's important to keep in mind that in every situation, you have the power to say no. You have the ability to say not now. You can walk away from any situation. It's your choice. You may feel like you can't, but you always can. We always have multiple choices. We have the free will to do that. Okay? When you have a situation with an invisible entity, with something you can't touch or see or hear in some cases, how are you going to deal with that if you don't want to? How are you going to turn it off? Again, you have the ability, you have the power to say no, not now. And by doing that, with the help of your guides, remember they're always there with you, and just say, I can't deal with you now. Tell them, I'll deal with you later when I'm more capable, when I have the tools, when I have the understanding and the knowledge and the ability to deal with you, then we'll revisit this. We'll come back to it, okay? But in the meantime, we have to remember that time, linear chronological time, as we know it in this life on this planet, doesn't exist the same way on the other side. On the other side, it's always now. That Civil War soldier rushing up the hill, the enemy's at the top of the hill, they're firing down, he gets shot halfway up the hill and dies. Okay, 180 years later, he's still rushing up that hill, still trying to get to that enemy, still trying to win the war, win that cause. Over and over and over and over again, because 180 years later, it's still now. It's still happening now for that entity. Okay? When you tell them later, not now, for them, later is still now. So it's okay. It's all right. They will hold off. They'll wait for you. Okay? And if you choose, if you say, okay, I can deal with you later on, you've done several things. First, you've acknowledged their presence. You have acknowledged they have a need. And you have said, hey, here are the conditions, here are the terms in which I can try to help you. Okay, hopefully. So it's always now. Okay, a little exercise I like to do with my students. Everybody close your eyes for just a moment. Close your eyes, okay? And I want you to envision the most beautiful place you have ever seen. Here on Earth, wherever, the most beautiful place you've ever visited on a vacation trip or what have you, or maybe seen it in a magazine. Okay, stop. You're back, okay? How long did it take your mind to get to that place? You were there instantaneously. Before I finished saying what I was saying, you were there. Your mind could see that. You could smell the air. You could see the blue sky. You could the water and clarity and everything. You were there. And then just as fast you were back. That is the speed of now. That's what I'm talking about on the other side. That's how fast they can move. When they move to the future, it's still now. When they move to the past, it's still now. It's always now. So when you say later on my terms, they're like, okay, fine. They're chill. That's okay, no problem. Okay, we'll deal with it. You let us know. It'll still be now. We'll be fine. Okay. So in this series now, we've covered a lot of ground. Okay. Do you ever experience paranormal phenomenon, and what kind of phenomenon do you experience? We've talked about that. We talked about who they are and why they're here. What are their intentions? What are their needs? Okay. We've talked about our intentions. We've talked about dealing with evil entities who won't leave for whatever reason. They refuse to or can't. How to deal with those. Okay. We've learned how to stand up to entities with love and compassion. Okay. I hope you've enjoyed these 3 videos, and that you'll share these with your friends, family members, acquaintances, people who you feel can also benefit from what was included here. Okay. Remember that our first 2 videos and this video will still be available through June 10th. Okay, so you can always come back on and review or renew, or people who have missed it can pick up on that. Okay. In the meantime, one last note. I had promised you last time that I would tell you how you can sign up for my new program, Mastering Your Innate Intuitive Abilities. This is a 10-part online live seminar series, and it covers everything we've talked about in these videos, plus much, much more. It takes my previous classes, including Mastering Your Innate Psychic Medium Abilities. It has the Business of Caring and Quieting the Persistent Voices, and so many more programs that I have done in the past, all brought into one package, one online live series. And so we'll have live back and forth communication, questions and answers. Okay. Mastering your innate intuitive abilities will help you to get a better understanding of what you're capable of, what's happening around you, what's happening with you. Okay? It'll help you strengthen your intuitive abilities, your innate abilities. It'll help you take control over those abilities, and it'll help you to become the self that you were meant to be, the spiritual, the life energy source self that you were intended to be. Okay, I'll be sending you one more free video that'll be coming in the next couple of days that'll give you the details about this program. So be watching for that. It's going to talk about what's covered in the program, when will it be available, how do you sign up for it, and of course the big one, how much does this all cost? Well, we'll be talking about all of that. And I can assure you, if you have enjoyed and benefited from this free series, Are You Being Haunted?, you're going to love mastering your innate intuitive abilities. So watch for that email in the next couple of days in your inbox. So until then, I'm Frank Schoedel. Stay curious, and thank you for joining us on Are You Being Haunted?